it's a mess out there. It's a mess. And I was fully on board with making sure that I was carrying out the will. And her husband would be taking notes on what she was talking about. It was, I'm not saying full possession, but if you think about full possession, like, let's go there. Let's go there. I was convinced that religion was for the weak. Okay? This is rampant all over social media. Rampant all over social media. Oh, I don't need religion. I have a relationship, says the Protestant who doesn't repent, doesn't believe in the real presence, doesn't actually have a church that goes back to Jesus Christ, that doesn't actually have anything that has to do with any of the early church fathers. Nothing to do with the early church fathers. Protestants today have nothing to do. You have to literally call them out. We're done with the protest. We need to come back into communion, okay? Yes, the Orthodox, we want them to come back into communion under Rome and submit to the Pope. That's probably never going to happen, okay? We all have our wish list, okay, that we want to send to the Lord all the time. But we need to have this protesting end, okay? I came out with a video. It went somewhat viral for me, 45,000 views, and it talks about all these Protestants that are coming back to the faith. The reason being is that Protestantism right now is just a bunch of TED Talks with a band playing, and there is no truth being spouted from that stage. It is just, give me a better car, let me open another campus, give me a bigger building, let me get better air conditioning and speakers and just entertainment. It's all about me. Talking about me, it's all about that. But religion outside of that, you see it all. I can't believe people believe in religion. You have a religion, by the way, sir, who's an atheist. Your religion is science. Science has the Big Bang, and there is no evolution, and there was no Great Flood. Oh, really? Okay, that's weird. Well, if you suspend your belief for a second and you do what I did and actually do research, there actually was a global flood at one time, and they call it pre-diluvian and post-diluvian flood, okay? And then if you believe in creation, if you believe in the Big Bang, who thought of the Big Bang? That's actually a Catholic Belgian priest from the 1800s that was talking about how existence came how creation came into existence. I don't know if I'm wording that correctly. However, they didn't take it so far and say that a single cell organism then became us over billions of years. Okay. All right. Let's also suspend the law of entropy, which needs energy to sustain chaos. Let's also say that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. That's weird. So thermodynamics, the first two laws are just completely thrown out of the books, but I believe in science anyway. That's what made me believe in a creator. We have to go back to logic. We have to go to St. Thomas Aquinas. He turned my wounds into weapons. So wounds were, I wasn't enough. I needed a better looking girl. I needed a prettier girl. I needed more parties. I needed better parties. I needed cooler people around me. I needed more money. I needed better dinners. I needed better restaurants. I needed a better apartment. I needed to be hosting the parties. I needed to be hosting nicer parties. It is a treadmill of despair, okay? You are never enough. You are never enough. In other words, whatever your wound was, I'll talk about a couple of wounds, which is not about me, but in particular, most bodybuilders, men and women, are short because they were picked on. So they become jacked, so people are afraid of them, so they don't get picked on. A lot of people that are rich right now were once really poor, so they were picked on, so they become rich in the future because they have these wounds. They have all these people. They have all these wounds. There's many people in prison right now have wounds of being abused physically when they were younger. Okay, that was, I think, Father Dan Rehill talked about when he did prison ministry. It was almost like 90% of the guys in the prison. Okay, those are wounds that are not going to be filled by anything worldly. That is way outside of the scope in the realm, okay, of let alone what I was doing worldly things, but even going into the violence or the gangs, or I don't have a father, so I needed a father figure, so I get into red pill, or red pill is good, but then I go even further and I need a lot of women in my life and I need kids outside of marriage because I don't believe in marriage. It's all the devil. It's all lies of the devil. Continuing on. He gave me everything I wanted. I'm not done with this sentence. He gave me everything I wanted and none of what I needed.